Well, greetings, my fellow Trinitarians. We are now just 3 days away from the start of the new school year, and I know I speak for all the Trinity faculty and the staff when I say we are ready and we are excited. I know this has been a long summer and one of the most stressful buildups to the start of a new school year. But our planning is complete. Our classrooms and facilities are updated, and all that's left is to welcome our students back to school, both in person and online, on Wednesday of this week. Most of you are probably aware that our governor has requested that all schools delay the start of in-person learning until the end of September. The Titan Force Committee met this past week to discuss this issue in depth, and I'm happy to report that the committee was unanimous that we move forward with our planned start date this Wednesday. Our rationale was pretty straightforward. The governor's request was just that, a request, not a mandate. So moving forward with our planned start date is fully within our prerogative. While delaying the start of in-person learning may make sense for our much larger public school counterparts, Trinity is not a public school with thousands of students. We are much better equipped to deal with our small community of students, and we are fully capable of managing their health, safety, and well-being. Everyone on the committee felt strongly that returning to school is in the best interest of our students. Postponing our start date any longer unnecessarily risks the academic, social, and emotional and development of our students. Our kids have suffered a great deal since the shutdown in March, and it is in their best interest to resume their studies and re-engage with their peers and teachers. We also recognize that parents are depending on us. Many have already returned to work, and others need school to start so they can return to work. Finally, the committee was unanimous that we have done our due diligence to put in place all of the recommended risk mitigation protocols that are necessary for protecting against transmission and keeping our students and staff safe. Folks, we have done everything necessary. We have followed every protocol. We have taken every precaution. We have provided for all known contingencies. All that's left is to move forward prayerfully, trusting in God, and acting in the most responsible ways that we know how. Speaking of prayer, I want to publicly thank all of the Titan Prayer Warrior parents who met this past Wednesday morning as our teachers were gathering for in-service. They walked the Trinity campus and they covered it in prayer. This was inspirational and a great demonstration of our unity and our common faith and purpose. At the end of the day, we look to God. We trust in Him for our protection. We are a community built on faith in a risen Savior, and our confidence is in the Lord. So, as we look ahead to Wednesday, here are some things to keep in mind. First, there are quite a few changes to our rules and our guidelines this year. We need you to discuss these rules and guidelines with your students, reinforcing the importance of compliance with a positive attitude. This benefits everyone, and it is the key to keeping our school open. Please remember that we are also following the CDC guidelines in requiring that all students be screened and have their temperatures checked prior to arrival on campus. To help you accomplish this important task, we have created a daily symptom checklist for you to place on your refrigerator. You will get this soon. However, I need to correct one thing on that checklist. At the bottom of the list, right here, it says, if your child exhibits any of these symptoms, please keep your child home from school and seek care from a healthcare provider prior to return to school. So the first part is definitely accurate. If your child has any of these symptoms, we are asking you to keep them home until they are symptom-free without requiring medication for at least 24 hours. However, you will not need to seek care from a healthcare provider prior to returning to school if they have these symptoms, unless your child has been in direct contact with another human who has tested positive for COVID-19 or has recently traveled to a high transmission state. Please remember that students in grades 1 through 12 They need to mask up when they are dropped off at school on Wednesday, and they need to report directly to their class cohort. If your student isn't feeling well on this Wednesday or any day after, or if they display any of the COVID-related symptoms that are on that sheet, they will need to stay home, and you will need to report this to the school as soon as possible by calling the main school office. And you'll also need to email the attendance email account so that we can keep track of attendance. For efficiency and in the event of a shutdown order, all Trinity teachers will be utilizing Google Classroom as the basic platform for all classes taught at Trinity this year. All K through 12 Trinity students have been issued their own unique Gmail account that is required in order for them to access content on Google Classroom. If you need guidance on how to access your child's Gmail account, help them access it, and log into Google Classroom, we have posted instructions in the Distance Learning tab under the Quick Links section of the Trinity website. I want to assure you that we will continue to monitor data in our community. We're going to look at all of the published guidance, and we'll be soliciting feedback from time to time and communicating with parents periodically as we progress through the first quarter. Just because school is starting doesn't mean the communication is going to end. The Titan Force Committee will continue to meet regularly and work towards ensuring that we have the best possible outcomes during these challenging times, and that we are committed to keeping you, the families of Trinity, informed. Finally, I want to plead with everyone to provide an abundance of grace as we move ahead. There is plenty of room for error, and we will make mistakes along the way as we figure things out. However, we will adapt as needed, and we will come through this stronger together. So until next time, my friends, stay graceful.